This herbal tea is great for pregnant women, you know? It was only after I got pregnant that my mother-in-law's attitude towards me changed. Before that, she seemed to look down on me for only having a high school diploma and working in an office job. But now, she often brings me herbal tea. At first, I thought she was happy about my pregnancy. But this tea seems a bit suspicious. I'm Ellen. I've been working in an office job ever since I graduated high school and got a job at a food manufacturer. I chose this company simply because I love to eat. It's a small company, and I feel comfortable here, so I've just kind of continued working here. I met my husband Andrew at the gym. I love to eat, but if I keep working a desk job without physical activity, I worry about gaining weight. I don't have any hobbies that involve sports, so I make sure to regularly go to the gym. Andrew is the same. His job in research means he doesn't get much exercise. And he's not into sports, so he goes to the gym too. We started talking after seeing each other several times and hit it off over our favorite artists. We started dating after going to concerts and festivals together. And then we got married 2 years ago. I never imagined that a high school graduate like me, working in an office job, would end up marrying a researcher from a major company who graduated from a prestigious university. To top it off, his father is the president of a company. Of course, that's not why I married him. It was because we shared common interests, and I found him to be a trustworthy person. He is kind and helps around the house. Our newlywed life has been full of happiness. And now, we're pregnant. It might seem like everything's been smooth sailing, but there was actually one problem. Andrew's mother. She's a herbalist. Andrew's family home, where his father runs the company, it's so big, it seems too much for a family of 3. His mother grows herbs on the property, converted a detached building into a shop, and holds herb classes there. She's published a book and is quite well known. Andrew kept his love for live music and festivals a secret from his strict mother, fearing her opposition. So, we couldn't really tell her how we started dating, and had to dodge her questions. It seems she had an ideal type in mind for her son's wife, and I, being a high school graduate with an office job, must have been a disappointment to her. She made it quite clear through her words that she wanted him to eventually take over his father's company, and she constantly implied that I wasn't a good match for her son. Especially since he is an only child, and I'm the wife of the eldest son, I never felt like I was good enough for her. Despite him being down to earth and fun, I knew from the moment we went to greet her that she didn't think highly of me. But everything changed when she found out I was pregnant. I had severe morning sickness, and sometimes had to take time off work. And that's when she would show up, even though she had never come to our house before. As soon as she learned about my pregnancy, she started visiting frequently and always brought her own herbal tea. Please, drink this. It's good herbal tea for pregnant women. With her smiling like that, I had no choice but to accept it. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. And to make matters worse, she'd be like, since I'm here, let's enjoy it together. I'll show you how to make a delicious cup of herbal tea. Then she'd barge into our house and start preparing the tea right away. You don't have very nice dishes, do you? she'd make such unnecessary remarks while boiling water and preparing the tea. Barbara, I really appreciate it, but I have morning sickness and can't really handle strong scents. Oh, this is a recommended herbal tea for pregnant women. You'll be fine. Just try a little. It will make you feel better. Okay. I forced myself to drink the sweet, aromatic tea despite feeling sick. I know my stomach can't handle it, but I can't say that to her. How is it? Tastes good, right? Yes, it's fine. Next time, I'll bring a herbal tea that's good for morning sickness. Oh no, that's not necessary. But I couldn't refuse, and soon she was back making tea in my kitchen again. If she saw that the last batch of tea leaves was still there. Oh, you still have so much left. I chose these especially for your health. You must drink all of it. Okay. Sorry. I wondered why I was the one apologizing. Her sudden change was creepy. And since she kept bringing more herbal tea, I complained to Andrew. Your mom brought herbal tea again today. She even made it in our kitchen. I can't drink it because of my morning sickness.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's not your fault, Andrew.
Well, it's her first grandchild. Maybe she's just excited and looking forward to it.
Do you think she's finally accepted me? I hoped that was the case. But there was actually something terrifying going on. Krista has been my best friend since middle school, and I can talk to her about anything. She had her baby about 3 months before I found out I was pregnant. So now, she's an experienced mom. I've been feeling a mix of happiness and anxiety since learning about my pregnancy, and I always turn to her for advice. Despite being busy with her baby, she's always there for me. I get it, she would always say and listen to me. So, when she came over with her baby, I decided to serve the herbal tea my mother-in-law gave me. I couldn't finish it myself and was worried about what Barbara would say if I left any. So I thought I'd have Krista help me drink it. But as soon as Krista took a sip, she said,
Isn't this too strong?
Really? I brewed it just like my mother-in-law showed me.
It's too strong. You could choke on this. What herbs are these?
I don't know. She gave it to me, saying it was good for pregnant women. The bag of herbs she brought had the names on it, but I never paid attention since I wasn't interested in herbs.
Your mother is a herbalist, right? If it's good for pregnant women, I wonder if it's safe during breastfeeding too?
Are there herbs you shouldn't drink while breastfeeding?
Yes, there are many herbs you shouldn't consume during pregnancy or breastfeeding. Like...
She listed several herbs, but I didn't understand any of them. Oh, you're so knowledgeable, Krista.
I've always liked tea and herbal tea, so I researched which ones are safe during pregnancy and breastfeeding.
What happens if you drink the wrong herbal tea?
Well, it can cause uterine contractions or diarrhea, which might affect the baby in the womb.
Uterine contractions? Like causing stomach cramps?
I'm not sure, but maybe.
I've been having stomach cramps lately.
What?
I thought it was okay since it's tea for pregnant women.
Ellen, show me the herbal tea package.
Oh, okay. I fetched the bag of herbal tea I had stored in the cupboard and handed it to her.
It looks like a blend of several herbs. I don't recognize these names.
So it's probably unrelated.
No, if you're not sure if it's unrelated, you should stop drinking it.
Really?
You should stop immediately and see a doctor.
I should?
Pregnancy can bring various complications. It's safer to get checked if something feels off.
You think so?
Besides, drinking such a strong herbal tea, even if it's safe for pregnancy, might still have an impact.
Really?
You and your mother-in-law weren't getting along, right?
Well, until I got pregnant, I felt like she didn't like me.
It's better to be safe and check, just in case.
Encouraged by her, I decided to have the herbal tea checked at the hospital. When the doctor saw the package of herbal tea I brought,
"Oh, these herbs are contraindicated during pregnancy."
What? I had misunderstood, thinking my mother-in-law had finally accepted me. What was her intention in repeatedly giving me this tea? If it's not good for pregnancy, that means it could pose a risk to the baby in my womb. That implies...
What's the story with this herbal tea?
Well, I received it as a gift.
No offense to the person who gave it to you, but it's better not to drink it for safety's sake.
Okay.
The person who gave it to you probably didn't know.
No, that's not it. The person is a herbalist. It's hard to believe she wouldn't know about the herbs she's handling. She must have done it on purpose. I felt drained. Luckily, the baby was doing fine. The doctor just advised me to rest and avoid exertion if I experienced any cramping. The herbal tea my mother-in-law gave me turned out to be bad for pregnant women. She might have given it to me on purpose. When I told this to Andrew upon returning home,
"No way. That can't be."
At first he said that, but then...
But knowing her, she might have done it.
Why? The baby in my tummy is her grandchild, right? Is she okay with something happening to her grandchild?
What if she doesn't want a grandchild?
What?
Well, it's hard to say, Ellen, but my mother had someone else in mind for me to marry. She's a student in my mom's herb class.
She still wants you to marry that woman?
She's been telling me to break up with you even after we got married.
She wants you to dump me?
She probably thinks, if we can't have a child, I'll give up.
That's so forceful.
Let's go and confront her about it.
I don't think she'll confess, though.
I have a plan.
I have been avoiding my in-laws' house due to the constant snide remarks since our marriage. I wasn't thrilled about going, but I trusted Andrew and agreed. On Saturday afternoon, we visited his parents' house for the first time in a long while. We didn't inform them beforehand, so his father looked surprised when he opened the door, but welcomed us warmly.
"Oh, good to see you. Please, make yourselves comfortable."
As for Barbara, she was busy with her herb class. I see, she is teaching a class. When does it end?
We're not waiting for the class to end. We'll confront her now.
What? It seemed he had planned to come at this time. We crossed the hallway from the main house to the herb shop. The property even had a herb garden, but there were also many potted herbs at the entrance of the shop. When we opened the glass door, we could hear the refined laughter of women. They were surrounded by shelves lined with jars of dried herbs, brewing herbal tea at a long table in the center. None of them seemed to notice us entering as they continued chatting and working. "Is it all right if we do this now, Barbara?" one of the students asked my mother-in-law. "This time we're using a mix of dried flowers and leaves. When the sand in the hourglass runs out, the tea will be ready. Let's pour it into cups." The herbal tea in the heat-resistant glass teapot was much lighter in color than the one she had taught me to make. I spoke up from behind the students. "Is that a 3-minute hourglass, Barbara?" "Yes, it is." She began to reply, then realized the question hadn't come from one of her students. She looked at me, her eyes wide with surprise. Why are you two here? It's class time. You can't just come in like that. I answered with a forced smile. The herbal tea you gave me was so delicious. It sparked my interest in herbs. Could I observe your class? What are you saying? Herbs don't suit someone like you. But you gave me herbal tea. That's strange, though. When you taught me, you used more leaves and said to steep them for 10 minutes. That's because it was a different type of herb. One of the students, a woman, then spoke up. Are you her daughter-in-law? Yes, I am. Barbara hurriedly interjected. What are you talking about? She's not. She's a relative who thinks of me as her mother. She laughed nervously, but the woman, Courtney, ignored her and looked at me. Daughter-in-law? So you're... I'm the wife in this house. I said it firmly. The woman who had asked me turned pale, and I could see Barbara's face also turning pale. The wife? I didn't know Andrew was married. What's going on, Barbara? Well, I had never seen her so flustered. Barbara, didn't you say you would arrange for me to marry Andrew? You promised I'd be the wife of the future company president. No, Courtney, it's not like that. Andrew was deceived by this woman and married her, but I planned to have them separate soon. But this woman stubbornly stayed, and now she's pregnant, throwing off my plans. She rambled on rapidly. What Andrew had said was true. Not only was I not accepted as a wife, but she also intended to drive me out. The woman in front of me seemed more suitable for this family than I was, not just beautiful, but well-dressed, well-bred, and cultured. I'm plain looking, not very smart, and from an ordinary salaryman family. Maybe I really wasn't suitable for Andrew. Just as I was feeling downhearted, Andrew spoke up.
Mom, what are you saying? I have no intention of leaving Ellen. I chose Ellen. She saw me for who I am, not for my education or title. That's the kind of person I want.
I felt tears welling up. He continued.
Mom, did you endanger our unborn child to make me marry Courtney?
What? Andrew, what are you saying?
Did you think if the child was gone, I'd give up on Ellen? How could you do such a thing?
The students began to murmur. She then defiantly said, Of course, I've always said that Andrew should marry a lady from a good family with education. She's to be the wife of the future company president. Courtney would be perfect. If you had just left her sooner, I wouldn't have had to do anything. It's your fault for clinging to such a boring woman.
Don't call my wife boring. She's the most fun. We go out to eat, to concerts, and have the best time.
Concerts? How vulgar. I didn't raise you to be like that.
Of course you didn't. You're always more concerned about elevating your own status and fame, leaving me neglected. You didn't even know I was into music.
That was because I needed money to raise you.
We could have managed fine on Dad's income alone. Mom, you only wanted to become famous as a herbalist. Courtney, you're only interested in marrying me if I become the company president, right?
Both Barbara and Courtney exclaimed in surprise.
I have no intention of taking over Dad's company.
What do you mean? I raised you to be the president, you ungrateful child. She confronted him angrily, then turned and lunged at me. You seduced Andrew. Get out. I should have never allowed you to marry him. Please stop. The baby. I was shaken violently and instinctively protected my belly. You don't deserve to bear Andrew's child. Get out. As she raged, a voice suddenly intervened.
The one who needs to leave is you.
Andrew's father had come in, having heard the commotion.
I've known about Andrew not wanting to take over the company since before he married Ellen.
How could you?
He has his own dreams that he wants to pursue. I just wanted him to follow his heart.
Without consulting me?
You've always done what you wanted, neglecting household and childcare duties. Yet you won't allow Andrew to pursue his interests?
But this ruins all my plans.
You've reaped what you sowed.
She was eventually faced with divorce and had to leave the house. She begged to keep running her herb classes, which was allowed, but after the students witnessed the incident, many quit, and the classes eventually became unsustainable. Courtney, no longer interested in Andrew without the prospect of being a company president's wife, also left. Barbara now lives in a cheap apartment and struggles with part-time work and household chores, something she's never done before. As for me, I safely gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, resembling Andrew. Both Andrew and his father are completely smitten. We decided to live with his father, as we had already been considering moving to a larger place due to our growing family. Ironically, I developed a genuine interest in herbs. Using the herbs left in the mother-in-law's garden, I got into cooking and baking during my parenting breaks. I even learned the proper way to brew herbal tea. Used correctly, herbs are beneficial for both mind and body. Once things settle down with the baby, I'm thinking of getting an herbalist certification. Although I can't forgive my mother-in-law's actions, they inadvertently introduced me to a new way of life.